Hello and welcome to the Up. My name is Kristen Louise, and I'm here with my buddy Andy. He denies knowing me. That's great. And I like
Uh,
he even put his last name on here. It's great promotion, Andy. He's Andy, no last name. Later, we'll talk about his Instagram handle, and if he wants to reveal his identity, that's going to be up to him. Today, we have a comic on the show. First comic on the show. You beat Andrea by a week. How do you feel about that, Andy?
I love it.
I mean, I did know you first. So, but he doesn't claim he knows me, but I did know Andy first. There is a backstory there. We're in season 2 of The Up, and this is episode 3 with Andy, no last name. And he does have a show to promote, so at some point you're going to have to spill the beans on that later. But let's get down to the important business of the backstory of how we know each other. Take it away, Andy.
well, we met at the wonderful. While you were talking, I was trying to figure out how to edit my name, but I dropped the ball. I dropped the ball on that. So
It's all right. I'll edit it in the post, okay?
okay, so I downloaded the app and it just said type in a name. I was like, whatever. I'm just trying to get on the video.
Right.
But yeah, we met at William Woods University, Fulton, Missouri.
Good
20 years ago? And
Yeah.
I was in a fraternity, you were in a sorority, and
Yeah.
I don't remember the first time we met, but I mean, we were both freshmen and same
right.
year, and
Yeah.
I think we met in social circles because I don't think I had any classes with you our
So you
freshman year.
graduated you graduated with communication or business or both?
Business.
Okay, so but you took communication classes because I know we had a couple classes together. And I was communication major, but then I was a minor in business, so I'm sure there was overlap there, but it's a very small campus if you're not familiar with William Woods. So you probably wouldn't go there and not know somebody that's that small. So Andy lived in the Fiji house, Phi Gamma Delta, and then there was one house in between where Andy lived and where I lived in the Alpha Chi Omega house. So we were basically neighbors, and we do have a family connection. Did you know that, Andy?
We do?
Not a real family,
Oh,
not a real family
Greek,
connection, a
Greek
Greek family
family.
connection.
Yeah, we were the same
Yes.
Greek family. I don't know how many people know, like, because like if you're on a bigger campus, maybe
Right.
Greek family isn't a thing. But yeah, that's for our school, we had Greek families. But yeah,
I went back for alumni weekend this year, and they're still tracing in the Alpha Chi Omega house. They still like have my genealogy, and so that's cool that they're still tracing like who all my grandkids and littles and whatever. Of course, I don't know any of them now. I mean, so I was a freshman 20 years ago. That is a long time
wow.
ago. Yeah.
I mean, same.
So I know, and it does hit you in the gut. But then like there was people that were back that were celebrating their 75-year out, and I was like, woo, okay, the grand dames. I was like,
We'll be
okay, so
there.
20's not that bad.
We'll be there one day.
I mean, God help us, heaven willing. That's the goal. So we met. Shout out William Woods. It was a interesting place to find myself, I guess. College, you do a lot of finding yourself, you do a lot of testing boundaries and whatever. So, how did you find William Woods? What's your William Woods story?
I initially went there to run track and field
Oh, I
because
didn't know that.
I ran track 4 years in high school, and
Mm.
I had a buddy from my high school. He graduated a year or two before me, and I think I was talking to him at the end of my senior year, and he said he was going to William Woods and he liked it. He only went there a year, so by the time I got there,
Great
he had,
recommendation.
yeah, well, he had some personal things going on, but
Okay.
uh, so he had to leave school. But so I
Ooh.
was like, okay, cool, and I visited the campus, I think in the previous spring, and
Right.
met with the coach and all that. And but yeah, I really liked the campus because I grew up in a town called Troy, Missouri, about the size of Fulton, honestly. So
Yeah.
it kind of made me feel at home, and it was
Andy, there you are. We lost you for a second. You're back.
oh yeah, my I had a notification pop up, but
Oh,
yeah, so I like the campus, kind of the small campus feel,
yeah.
and about an hour and 15 minutes from my hometown. So at that time, I liked it because I was just far enough away from
Right.
Troy where I wasn't like going home every weekend. But if I
Right.
needed to go home, I can go home. So
Right.
But I was, yeah, I think when I was 18, I was ready for a change and
Yeah.
from, I mean, I could have went somewhere in St. Louis and been a little closer to home, but I just wanted to do something different. So, but I ended up not running track there
Plot
because,
twist.
yeah. So William Woods does this weird thing where you can only have, they cap your
Yeah.
scholarships.
Yeah.
So I got what was called the lead scholarship, which is like
Yeah.
5,000 a student, and then I got an academic scholarship.
Right.
My academic scholarship was more than my athletic
Mine too.
scholarship. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take more money. And then
Yep.
I thought about being a walk on for track and
Yeah.
trying to get more money out of it. But once I got on campus, it's just like, I think
You
that
were
kind of
like, I'm joining a frat. You're like,
yeah,
I'm out.
faded into the background. And
Yeah.
I mean, my first semester, I wasn't really sure what to expect. And
Right.
I ended up liking Greek life, making a lot of connections, and ended up staying there for 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's
And
how
for
I ended
people
up at
that
William Woods.
like people that went, your story's actually a lot like mine, which is interesting. And you were a late sign, which I was too, so that's interesting. But for people that went to a bigger college and did Greek life, it's really not the same thing. So
Yeah,
I get that all the time, and they're like, "You were in Alpha Chi Omega." I'm like, "That means something totally different everywhere." Like, calm down. And then also just the rush process and the recruitment process, whatever you call it, wherever you're at, it's just so different at a big school. So it was like a small little family where we went and we all knew each other, and being Greek was kind of more normal than not being Greek on that campus.
right.
And it was just the hardest thing for me was just picking. For you guys, you only had two choices. For us, we had four, and so the hardest thing for me was just picking the right fit. And after I did that, I mean, it was just like a no-brainer. So we have. Let me see if I can hold on. Let me see. I've never shared my screen on this before, so let me see. You're like, wow, what an amateur. Yeah, I'm using a different software than I usually use. So let's see if we can get this pop in here. Okay. So can you see this, Andy?
I do now. Yeah.
Okay, so that is Andy and I 18 years ago. There's Andy, there's me, there's our Greek parents, and then there's my littles. So who are your littles? Who are your
uh,
sons?
I had one. His name was Tom, but he like left. He was like in our house for like a semester, and then he
Oh,
left.
okay.
So our like quote unquote Greek family didn't really like extend very much.
The
So
branch is dropped. I hear what you're
yeah,
saying, Andy.
but
It's
my
okay.
pledge dad is Josh in that picture, Josh
Yes.
Potter.
Josh Potter and then Sarah Chatham. Now, our parents broke up. Andy and I's parents broke up. They didn't end up together for the long haul, and that's okay. But then, technically we're kind of part of the same Greek family. Do you talk to any? I know you talk to people from your house, but do you talk to anybody? I mean, first of all, can we just say before I go into this, glow up for Andy and I. I mean, wow, I've got the poof hair going on. I mean, we've had a glow up. I'm glad that we're looking better now than we were then, because that's just always fun to have a nice embarrassing photo out there on the internet. You're welcome. That was 18 years ago, which is hard to believe. But now my question is, do you talk to anybody from your Greek family? Like, do you keep in touch with Josh or anybody else? I know you keep in touch with people from the house.
Nope.
I know. So here's the thing, and this is terrible, and it's nothing against these people because these are all really good people. It's just I don't either. So I feel terrible because these people pick us. It's like a mutual selection process, and then I don't talk to any of them anymore. And so I feel bad about that, but I always try to think now as I'm older and have been through a lot of therapy. I try to think like, hey, that was a season, right? It doesn't have to be forever. Like, that was a great fun season, and I'm glad that that photo popped up in my memories because I only rejoined Instagram a year ago, and that's when I reconnected with you because Facebook's a crap show. I can't keep up with anybody on Facebook. There's way too many people there. There's a lot of mean people. Do you see a lot of mean people on your Facebook, Andy?
No, my Facebook's all like mostly comics, so it's just people
Oh, that's
posting
funny.
jokes, and it's
Yeah.
actually I don't know. People, it's funny when people say like, "Oh, social media is a drag," because my social media is all positive. I guess it just
Yeah.
depends who you connect with. So
Yeah. There's been some people that have latched on to me in a weird way on Facebook, and it's not always my favorite thing. But Instagram's a totally different little world. I love spending a lot of time over there. And so when I rejoined Instagram, because I was off of the gram, gosh, I was off of the gram for 2.5 years. Crazy long story. I wrote a book about it. But when I rejoined, I was like, Andy's a comic now. Like, what happened? Well, I was off Instagram because, like, we were connected before, and I re-up it. And I'm like, oh, Andy's now doing comedy. Cool. So tell us, because your degree is in business, correct? So
Correct.
tell us how the businessman falls into comedy. How'd that go down?
Uh, well, I would just frame it as like in college, high school and college, I was already like watching a lot of stand up, and
Oh
I was
yeah,
always interested in it as a kid. And uh, but you end up going to college and you go. I never thought of doing stand up. First of
sure,
all, it just seemed like a dream job. Like it's almost
right.
like, oh, I want to be R&B
Professional athlete.
sensation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, right.
So it just seemed like one of those things. So I never was like, oh, I'm gonna be a comedian. And then I don't know. I just started kind of watching more and started listening to a couple podcasts here and there. And
Awesome.
uh, eventually, I was like, that'd be pretty cool to tell jokes and get paid for it. And
Oh yeah,
uh, there's really no there's really no like how to become a comic. It's just you start going to open mics and you just try to get good at it. And so, I mean, that's pretty much what I did. Is I went to the open mic at the local comedy club, and
yeah.
uh, at the time I was just kind of bouncing around in between jobs and searching for a direction. So I was just kind of like, well, maybe this is the direction. So I just gravitated towards stand up. I was like, man, this is something I actually would like to do. And
Right.
first open mic wasn't too bad, and I just really enjoyed it, and I just kind of continued going back to open mics.
Yeah.
My first year, I wasn't really getting on stage a lot because I didn't know how the process worked. So
Hmm.
first year was just like figuring out like how to get on stage consistently is a good way to put it. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got started, and then I just kind of kept going, and eventually I got to a point, where you know started constructing good jokes and
Yeah.
better stage presence. And I think I just tell people it's like anything else in life. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So I'm to the point now where I work all the clubs in St. Louis. I
I
travel
work all the clubs. Man,
travel around a little bit,
sounds
and
intense, Andy.
yeah, it's cool.
Works all the clubs in St. Louis. So how long have you been doing stand up?
I've been doing it about 10 years now.
That's crazy to me. Well, you weren't promoting it for that long though.
Mm, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, my first year or two, probably not. I don't know.
Right. That's crazy to me. So you've been at this 10 years working toward it, which is longer than a degree, right? So you're just
Right.
school of hard knocksing it. Like that's what most people are doing, I think. So who's your aspirational, like, maybe not favorite, but like who do you really love to watch or, aspire to be like or whatever?
Um, I don't know if there's anyone I aspire to be like, but
Who
I mean,
entertains you?
I grew up like just watching like the Tonight Show and
Yeah.
the comics that I used to watch in like college, like Bill Burr and Dave
Hmm.
Chappelle. And
Yeah.
there's a guy named Greg Giraldo who
Okay.
uh, passed away like a long time ago, well, like 12 years ago. But he was really good. He was kind of like the original roast master on Comedy
Oh,
Central, or one
okay.
of them with Jeff Ross. So,
Yeah.
well, I know a lot of people nowadays they like watching the roasts and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's a bunch of them. I mean, uh, Rodney Dangerfield and
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neill was another one.
Hmm.
Nowadays, I still like watching Bill Burr and Chappelle. I like watching Jim Gaffigan,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
and there's a St. Louis guy, Greg Warren's really good. Also
Hmm.
like Sam Morril, Mark Norman. So I know I just threw a bunch of names out there. Some
None of them were female. I'll note that. It's Mother's Day today. That's fine. No, it's fine. I actually wanted to share this with you because I know you wouldn't have known it. Barely anybody does. But like, if you were in my sorority, you knew this. I'm a huge Chelsea Handler fan. Like huge. I've gotten to meet her twice. And Chelsea lately. Do you remember that show that used to be on E?
Yeah, I've
Girls
worked with
Behaving
Michael
Badly.
Yo before. Do you know who
Yeah.
that is?
Oh yeah. And so I've gotten like it was so cool to get to meet her. She was just like a huge influence on my life, and I didn't necessarily want to be a comic myself, but I just loved that she was going against the norm and she was pushing the envelope in a really funny way because like her late night show on I was a night owl in college, which is crazy because it's 8 o'clock and it's almost bedtime over here now. But I was a night owl in college, like most people are, and like that would put me to bed almost every single night. And I
Mm.
just, when I, got older, she started writing books not long after college. And I have always aspired to write a book, which I just did, which is crazy. And I was just like, man, this is so cool that like she gets to do everything that she wants. Like she was like one of the first comics to get a Netflix special, not the first, but she was one of them.
Hmm.
And I just think she's like a trendsetter to me. Like she's really gone out and not done the normative things. And that is just she took a very different path in life than where I've ended up, of course. So, it wasn't necessarily a career goal, but like I give her so many props for just like being herself. And I think I love comedy and I love watching stand up. And some of those names are, some of the same people I love. And when I was like, we were all, COVID was hard, right? Like we're all, quarantined. Comedy is one of the big things that I turn to because it's
Hmm.
like you need to laugh and you need social interaction. So, like, on the days where it was super hard, because I'm a very socially driven person, and so on those days I would go and I would pick up Netflix or Amazon Prime and I would watch a comedy special, and that is its own kind of art, in my opinion. And one that I don't think gets like my hot take on it is it doesn't get enough credit because people think of it as a live thing. Like you got to go to the comedy club, and that's cool. Like you should. We're going to talk about shows that you have coming up, and like you should go and you should support it live. But it's really cool also on a special, and like one day I hope that you'll get to do those things and travel outside of St. Louis and do a lot more. I know that you do now, but one of the things that when I came to your show, I hadn't seen you in years, and I saw you were going to be in Columbia. So I was like, oh, that would be fun. I don't get out a lot. So I was like, I should go and do something fun. And, I get there and then I end up meeting Andrea. I mean, I saw you and said hi, and then I end up meeting Andrea, who is also a William Woods alum, who's going to be on the show next week and promoting what she's got going on. But it's one of those things where it's a specific personality type. So I fell in love that night. And guys, it wasn't with Andy, okay? I fell in love with Andrea. We became best friends. We have been so tight ever since. We are manifesting a cruise ship deal for her right now. She is a hoot and a half. But the thing about it is, you go to a comedy show and you will see somebody that you resonate with because there will usually be two or three people there that are going to be different. And so your style of comedy was different than Andrea's. I thought they were both really hilarious. But I looked at the flyer for your upcoming show, which we're going to talk about, but I laughed out loud because you could not be four more different people that are going to be together on the same night. So anybody that's like, oh, I just went to the show because I know Andy, like, if you're worried about not understanding or knowing, you'll resonate with one of those four, I guarantee you. Like they're going to be hilarious to you because it's probably four completely different brands, which is why they put comics together in that fashion. But have you ever been put together with, because Andrea and I have talked about this recently, have you ever been put together with a comic that like it just wasn't your cup of tea and you just had to politely pretend to be like, that is not funny at all, but I'm going to laugh at you anyway?
Yeah, I've
Don't say names. I'm just curious.
yeah, I've worked with comics that I didn't really care to work with personally or professionally, to put it
Right.
mildly.
Right.
Just it's like I don't like your comedy. You're as a person,
Right.
we're really not meshing. But uh, I just try to be professional, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to do my job and be funny on stage. And I get along with everybody. I'm friendly with everybody.
Right.
So it's like, all right, well, if you want to be, you can do your thing. I'll do my
Mm-hmm.
thing. I'm still going to be nice to you and professional. But yeah, I think I've been lucky. I've really just had a handful of those
That's
situations
good.
over the, I've really just been doing shows for like 8 years. Like I said, my first year or
Mm-hmm.
two of comedy was just figuring things out. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, just working at the comedy clubs, so occasionally, I get asked like, hey, are you available, this weekend to open for so and so? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I always say yes. I've never like been like, oh, I don't want to work with somebody. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't know how I fit into this equation, but I'm
Right, right,
totally down to
right.
come, make some new friends and tell my jokes and just have a ball and get a
Well,
paycheck too. So, and
that is
hopefully,
a good way to look at it. I mean, that's the right way to look at it. I believe. Yeah, and I think professionally, anybody, no matter what business you're in, I'm sure we've all had the coworkers and the things. So you did say one thing when I was there. We didn't get a ton of time to talk. There was a lot happening. I mean, Andrea and I were falling in love, so it was a really busy time for me. But you did
and I
say
didn't
one
want to
thing.
step in the middle of that.
I know, like it was awkward. Like you don't. It's a romance. But one thing that you said was like you were talking about a friend of ours from college, Riley, and you're like, yeah, we went on this like road trip, and you were like, basically, I was homeless, and I was like, what do I have to lose? And I was like, I gotta hear that story. So what's the story there?
Wait, what?
So you
I'm
guys, you
lost.
guys went on a road trip, and then because I was asking you, I was like, what made you? Because I was like trying to figure out, are you doing this full time? What are you doing? And so you were talking about you and Riley, and maybe I got it wrong because I'm remembering it wrong, but I was trying to piece together all of our various conversations, which were very chopped up. But you were talking about like you guys went on a road trip, right?
Uh, we've met in a few cities. Yeah,
Okay. So,
I went on a road trip. He
and you
flew.
were
He flew there.
oh, okay, okay. And then so at one point were you like jobless or homeless? Did I get that wrong? Were you jobless? Is that what it was?
Jobless was
Okay,
probably, yeah,
jobless. Okay. So you had a home but no job.
yeah.
So, and at that point you were still doing comedy or like how long ago was
Oh
that? Cuz I was
yeah,
like I bet there's a story there. I just didn't get to
I
ask it that night.
yeah. I don't know what all we talked about. Well, we went to Nashville together. He was there for work. I was just there for to hang out and do comedy. So at that time, wasn't working. So I'm like, dude, I'll meet you in Nashville and we'll hang
Right.
out. Uh, I booked a show down there. Luckily,
Gotcha.
it just things fell into place, and I did a little bar show. I was happy to do that,
Gotcha.
um, and since I wasn't working, I was like, I'll take all the any
Right.
money I can get. So
Yeah.
that was pretty much all that was. I think he was kind of like, hey, since you're not working and you got
Right.
some time on your hands, why don't you come to Nashville? And I was like, I love Nashville. It's my favorite, one of my favorite cities.
Yeah,
But
Nashville is a good
so I
town.
cruised down there from St. Louis. It's like, now I can't remember. It's like 4 hours at least, maybe
Yeah.
4.5. Not bad. So
No, yeah,
we
not at all.
we had a good time. So
Okay. Well, at some point in my mind, I had equated it to being homeless, and I was like, "There's got to be a story there." So I had to ask. I had to ask. Okay, so a lot of times when you're at a comedy club, they'll introduce you. I know you do a lot of hosting too, but they'll introduce you or whatever happens. So if you had like a walk-on song, like a professional athlete does, what would be your ideal walk-on song?
um, hmm, that's a good question. Just something that hypes me up. I don't.
Right.
So I'm a big. I listen to all types of music. So it's got to be a hard rock song by maybe some Van Halen or something
Oh,
like
okay. Nice.
like
I like that.
Eruption's got a good intro. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good probably walk up song. But anything Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, yeah.
He's a I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a rapper,
I am
and
familiar. Yep.
so that'd be a good walk up song.
I like
At
it.
the club, one of the clubs in St. Louis, I usually come up to "Picture Me Rollin'" by Nipsey
Oh,
Hussle.
yeah. 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 That's a good
So
one.
if any of your listeners want to download that song, it's about a 2 minute song, but
Okay. Picture me rolling. Got it. I'll try to throw that into the beginning of the
which probably
episode.
doesn't fit with what you're looking at right now. But it's a good it's a
That's,
good jam.
that's the thing though. Like, people see us online. Like, let's say they don't see you first in a comedy club. Let's say they stumble across your Instagram or they stumble across you online somehow, maybe a friend of a friend or whatever. I feel like there's so many layers to us as people. They get an image of me, I know for sure. Like, they get this image of me online and they just think that they have me pegged. And I'm like, man, I
Hmm.
am a lot of things. I am not exactly, and I disappoint them all the time. And they DM me about it. Just like they send me DMs when they were very disappointed in our matching outfits that weren't matching. I was like, I thought it was funny to put on Instagram that we were matching. We were not matching. I did not text Andy. Now, Andy, for next weekend, we're wearing pink, okay? But I did not text him. And then, like, all of these people are just like, gross, puke. I'm like, could you guys just let me live my life? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, worst received joke. Okay, so when I was at your show, I've only been to one of your shows, but I've seen your Instagram reels and stuff. So I have a guess based on that night, but who knows what all content you have where. So what do you think is the joke that has bombed the most for you? That's just been the worst received.
Well, that's kind of hard to answer because, like, we go to open mics and we try jokes all the time that don't
Well,
work.
yeah.
Just people don't
Yeah.
see them. So,
Sure. Right.
yeah, you can. I mean, there's been hundreds of jokes literally that I've tried that have not worked, but at the time you think it's funny. So you
Right.
go to open
Yeah, for
mic.
sure.
So you do them at an open mic and
Right.
maybe 3, 4 times, and then you're like, it's not really working. And some you keep working on, some you just kind of toss to the side. So, um, yeah. So with that being said, when you go to a show, you're expecting maybe not all the jokes to land, but
Right.
you're expecting like 90% of your material to
Yeah.
to go the way you practiced it. And that's what an open mic is. It's
Right.
practice. And so when you're at practice, just like you're at football practice or whatever, or band practice maybe, and that you practice a certain way and then you go to the show and you expect it to go a certain way. Now, obviously some shows don't go how you expect them to go for
Yeah.
various reasons. But so yeah, that's kind of hard to answer. It's like what joke uh, has bombed the most. I don't know.
Or
I had a
maybe
joke.
just an unexpected response or something.
I did a joke last night that I told a couple people, and I'll tell it to you. And the couple guys thought it was like hilarious, and my buddy was like, "Why didn't you tell that on stage?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "It's just an internet joke," or I thought it was. So, oh yeah, you should do that on the second show. And I did it on the second show, and it didn't bomb, but I thought it was gonna like kill, and people were like, okay, good one."
Yeah.
So,
Right.
like we have a new Pope, Kristin, and he's from Chicago. So a lot of people are wondering, like, is he a Cubs fan? Is he
Right.
a White Sox fan?
Right.
I don't know, but I mean, clearly he's a Padres fan.
I saw it on your social media.
Oh, you already saw
So
it. So.
I already saw it. I already saw it. But yeah. So I
So you can see why I won't be telling this
You're
joke.
not going to be using that forever. Well, we can't use the Pope news forever, right? That's not going to be
Right.
newsworthy
I had to
for
throw
very
it
much
out there.
longer. So the one that I saw that makes me really happy, and you don't know this about me, but I'm obsessed with Menards. Like, it's my favorite store in the world. And I know that might be shocking, but I love me some Menards. And I saw this, I think it was from Twitter or X, whatever. And it was like, this just in. This may be the only Pope that has ever saved money at Menards. Like, it was so exciting because I just saved more money at Menards, which is their slogan. But it just made me, that's what I'm saying. If you're from the Midwest, you save
Oh
your
yeah.
money at Menards. Like, I would love to have them on board. Menards, you can contact me anytime.
Sometimes they give you that bag, and it's like, put all your stuff in this bag, and we'll give you
The
ten
bag
percent
sale.
off. Yeah.
I know it well. I'm actually in, and I'm embarrassed, but I'm
I
going to tell
tried
you.
stuffing a vacuum in that bag, and
Yeah,
I'm
for
like, hey,
sure.
they're looking at me, and they're like, that's 10% off.
Right,
Like, sir,
right
you
here.
can't do that. Yeah.
It's supposed to fit inside the bag, Andy.
Yeah.
No, I've done some questionable things at the bag sale. I've done some questionable things at Menards, Andy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I live for the rebate, the 11% rebate. Live for it, and I have saved a lot of money at Menards, and I've taught a lot of people how to save money at Menards. But past that, I I am proud. I'm going to just say I'm proud. I'm going to stand firm to tell you and the internet that I am in maybe 4 or 5 Facebook groups that are about Menards. And we all just share deals like little Menards nerds. And there's this one group and it's penny items. Have you ever heard of this, Andy?
No.
So you should join it. I'll invite you. And you can like line up the deal weeks and you can get a manufacturer coupon and you can get items for a penny. And it's a thrill.
Wow.
Okay. It's a thrill. I'm a couponer if you didn't know that. I'm not really anymore. I used to be.
Sounds
but
exhilarating.
it is. It's a cheap thrill. If you need a cheap dopamine hit, get to Menards. And if you're not from the Midwest, I'm sorry. We're
There you
awesome.
have it. If you
Yeah.
live in the Midwest, Menards, the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
That's going to be the title of the episode.
You heard it from me.
We just titled the episode. Thank you, Andy. So, okay, we talked about bombs. And I mean, okay, so the night that I was there, I know which one it was because the guy up front was heckling you hard and it was so
I
funny.
had like 5 jokes that didn't. I'll say 1 or 2 that bombed, probably 5 that didn't really work. But out
Oh,
of
I
like,
thought they went really well. I laughed. I mean, you
yeah,
heard me in the background.
but out of
I
like
laughed.
25 jokes, I was like, oh, that's still a good set, you know.
Oh yeah,
And that's how we
I thought
treated
they
these
were all
comics.
very funny, and
Well, thanks.
so anywhere that I am, and I'm not just saying that, anywhere that I am, like if I know somebody or whatever, I'm like a huge hype person, and I'm a marketer, so like I'm always going to be like filming and taking pictures because like I know what that's like, and it's really nice to have people do that for you because you can't take your own picture, right? Like that doesn't
Right.
work. So it's really nice, and that's just kind of who I am. And so I was doing that for you and Andrea and whatever, and I have a blast doing it. I really do. And so you can hear me in the footage, right? Because I'm right there.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, the one that got it for me was the Planned Parenthood one. I was like, oh,
Oh,
because I
whoops.
just felt so bad. No, I just felt so bad in that moment. I'm so empathetic. And I was just like, oh, like I was prayers, you know, like I was thinking about the people at Planned Parenthood and saying some prayers. But no,
I
it
thought that
was
would go better. And so I actually changed that joke to be more. So if you come to the show on Saturday, you'll hear a different version of that.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 different versions of that joke now because, but yeah, it's weird. Like when you're writing stuff, sometimes you're going for. I'm not trying to really go for shock humor, but like what is over the top
Right.
that has a. The joke is for your listeners like what places that have a rewards program. It's like 95% of business. So I'm trying to think of like a place that you go and I'm like, dentist, it's not really funny.
Yeah.
Doctor, and so I'm like, oh, like Planned Parenthood, that's kind of fun. That's more funny.
Yeah.
So that's a little insight into the joke writing process. Is like you're just trying to find words and things that are like, you know, what people don't see it coming. So to me, it's like a dentist is kind of funny. That's not okay. And then you think of something like I thought a DMV, like that's kind of funny, but not really like a punchline. And then so like Planned Parenthood was like my third one. It was like Planned Parenthood, that's funny. Like, and that joke works a lot better like in the liberal cities, we'll just say.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
like St. Louis, we have one, so it works out here.
Yeah.
But if you try taking it to like, so I don't do it in small towns because I know it's not going to work.
Right.
So I thought it would work better in Columbia, but like Columbia is a pretty liberal city, right?
It was a small show, though. I mean, it would be very hard to do. That was a small show. I had a blast. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. It was all very different and very fun. I also don't get out a lot, so you know.
So, but to conclude that story, just you know, after that not working a few times, you're like, okay, I need something better that is universal. So I came up with a couple different things that are more universal, and now I can just take that joke wherever. So.
Now I can just take that joke on the road. Me and that joke, we're just like this. Got it.
But that's what you want, though. Let me grab
That is exactly what you want.
I'm back.
So, that was quick. So, when you were younger, because, you know, being a comic is very creative. Like, you're writing your own material and you're delivering it. So, when you were younger, were you a creative person?
Not really. Like a little bit. I liked art, and I liked maybe just coming up with original idea. I like originality, so I don't think I would call myself creative as like a kid or in high school, and maybe a little bit more so in college. Maybe just because I was starting to mature and you know being involved with in Greek life, everybody's coming up with creative ideas, and so I think that definitely helped like challenge my creativity. So. You know, I never thought of it like that. Like, I think Greek life helped me become more creative. Being around different people from different backgrounds, in a way, helped me think outside the box and help my creativity. So.
And did it not give you a lot of material? It must have. I mean, you know, there's a lot to
probably
draw
a
from
few.
there. Yeah, there's a lot to draw from there. I know living in a house of 60 women definitely gave me a lot of material for my book. So, I feel the same way though. I feel like when I was younger, I was way too like type A and way too perfectionist and like wound too tight, and I wouldn't allow myself to be bad at things. And then as I got older and like went through college and had that whole experience, then I was like, hey, it's way more fun to not be perfect. Like, you're not going to win every philanthropy week. You're not going to get everything right. And that's okay. So that's a creative journey. And, whether you're writing content for socials, whether you're writing, for jokes, for a book, whatever, it is kind of a similar process because you think about the audience, don't you? You think about where you're going,
Right.
you think about the room, and you read the room. So when I was thinking about like writing a book, for instance, like the first thing, because I mentor people through the process, and like the first thing that you think about is who would be your ideal reader for the story that you want to tell. And then you think about them sitting in a chair reading it. And just, visualization is really big in that. So, anyway, okay. So we talked about how we met. I did not do the disclaimer that I usually do. And I just want to do that for everybody. Andy and I did not meet on a dating app. Okay? So I say it every episode, and no matter how many times I say it, somebody gets it twisted. We met in college, and there was no dating app involved. We met not on the internet, we met in real life. That's the story. All right, so let's talk about podcasts really quick, because that's another version of creativity. So you said that there were some podcasts that inspired you to get into comedy, right?
Uh, Probably one or two, yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite listens right now?
I don't really listen to a whole lot of podcasts right now. I used to, I guess I still do. I listen to Bill Burr's podcast,
Yeah.
Monday morning podcast. So,
Mm-hmm.
he's been doing that forever. So, like, I was
Yeah.
listening to that. Like, I was listening to that podcast like 15 years ago. So, back when
Right.
podcasting was
Was just
relatively
new.
new.
Yeah, for sure.
Nowadays, I listen to Theo Vaughn's podcast
Okay.
here
Yep.
and there. Occasionally, I may listen to like a Joe Rogan podcast if it's
Mm-hmm.
somebody, a guest that I
Yeah,
want to listen to.
for
And I
sure.
listen to uh, the Chaz Palminteri podcast.
Oh yeah.
I think it's just called the Chaz Palminteri
Mm-hmm.
Show. Um, Outside of those three, I mean that's probably it. The Sean Ryan show is pretty good. That's not comedy related, but
Right.
uh,
Yeah, that's fine. I was just
yeah,
curious.
I'm not a huge podcast person, but some stuff here and there. So,
Yeah. So, we talked a little bit about like how you got into comedy and whatnot, but what advice would you give to somebody that's wanting to do something like what you're doing, other than going to open mics? I mean, I know that that's how you get started.
um, I don't know. I think I'll preface my answer by just saying like comedy's a weird thing where like, everybody's on a different path. So
Right.
that I could give you advice and then 10 other people could give you different advice. So I try not to give out a lot of unsolicited advice. But the one thing I could just say, if comedy is something you really want to do and you're passionate about,
Yeah.
then just realize it's going to take time and to be persistent and to stick
Mm-hmm.
with it. And, it's going to be a bumpy road, but
Yeah.
if you have an attitude, a positive attitude, and kind of attitude where you're not giving up easily, then you'll get to where you want to get to. So, and that was kind of my path, and that's consequently my advice. So, because I think our culture nowadays with certain shows and social media, people think
Right.
those I'll start comedy, and
Yeah.
in a after a few mics, I'll be
It'll be good.
working the clubs, and I'm gonna get
Mm-hmm.
famous, and that's not really the case.
No.
So it's unrealistic expectations. So yeah, I think that would be my advice. Just be persistent.
Yeah.
Don't If
Humble.
you really want to do it, just don't give up, and you'll get there. Because that's honestly, I've seen so many funny people that were funnier than me, but the one thing why I'm still working and they're not is because I just never gave up.
Yeah. I feel the same. I came about this a weird way. I got like, and I don't even know if Annie knows the story. It doesn't really matter. But like, I got kind of TikTok famous for a while, but it was only in one genre.
What?
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of came about this a weird way. So, if you weren't a dancer on TikTok, you would have never seen me on your FYP because TikTok is really siloed. It's like whatever your interests are. And so, if you didn't watch dance videos, Andy, do you watch dance videos on TikTok?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
No,
So
I don't have
how did you not know I was
I
on
don't have
there?
TikTok.
Well, no wonder you didn't know. Come on. No. So I kind of got TikTok famous there for a hot minute a while back. And I'm a choreographer. I'm a dancer. I was on the Hooties dance team when we were in college. The Hooties. I mean, who does that? But yeah. So anyway, it was weird because I wasn't ready for it. Okay. So like, I was put on this platform because I just kind of did a couple little dances, and then all of a sudden, boom, there was a lot of people following me, and it was a weird feeling. And then I started doing like some couponing stuff on there, trying to help people, like kind of give back. And then, do you know that you're now the other
Yeah,
direction?
sorry.
Oh, there you are. I was like, does he know?
I
Does
was
he
trying not
know?
to distract you, but also
Oh, it's fine.
I need to plug my phone into a charger, so I'm
Oh,
trying to do
yeah.
that.
No, that's totally fine. Andy,
You
I
know
have
what?
to
We're just roll with it, and if I
yeah,
go black, it means my
it'll,
phone died.
it'll
So
be fine. We'll wrap it up soon. But yeah, so like I was on TikTok. I get this like weird following or whatever, and I wasn't planning on it. It just kind of happens. And that was in the early days of TikTok. So that would have been like 2018. And some weird stuff went down, like some weird things kind of transpired over the next couple of years. And that led me to go offline for 2.5 years. So I had no exposure to social media for a little under 2 years. And then I kind of slowly kind of weaned my way back. And one of the things that happened, I like had desensitized myself to it, because I was off social media for so long. It's like a drug. And
oh yeah.
so I come back on, and first I was just viewing it before I was doing anything on it. I was just viewing it, taking it in. And as I reopened Instagram's my favorite. What's your favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm an Instagrammer. And I reopened, and I'm excited because there's like people I want to check on. Like I want to get on Instagram and like see how they're doing. Like I have a genuine interest in their life or whatever. And when I remember way back when I didn't see comedy stuff from you, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like what a pleasant surprise. Like Andy's doing comedy, and it seems like he's doing well. That's great. But there's people out there that will share and like and heart your posts. And they don't know how much they mean to us because those are like gold. Because for people that have like a small, like we don't have a big following or anything, either one of us, every person that like likes and shares and is just genuine and kind is such a blessing. Do you find that when you're doing that, like, so let's say you're liking or sharing somebody else's stuff, do you find that it's genuine? Do you find you're just doing it to promote? Because that was the hardest thing when I came back online, was feeling it was like inauthentic almost because I was promoting myself.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. If I share somebody's post or like it, it's I just because I'm friends with that
Right.
person, and I just to me it's like, oh, when I say I like your post or I click the heart button,
Right.
I'm like your post, and
Yeah.
I actually catch myself like I'm about to like something. I'm like, I can't like that. I don't like that crap.
Right.
Like
Right.
you're not
I
getting
feel
this
that.
thumbs up from me. So
I
if I
feel
like
that in my soul.
if I don't like it, I'm not going to react to it. And so
Yeah.
if I share your content, it's because
Right.
number one, I like you, and number two, I like your content,
Right.
and
It was like
I'm
worthy of
some
them.
kind of mixture of both. But yeah,
Right.
so
It's weird when like you're your own brand. And not everybody that I have on the show is. So like you're Andy, I'm going to tell them your last name. Is that okay?
that would be great.
I'm
Actually, I want people to know my last name. I just
Okay, I'm gonna reveal it. You guys have been waiting the whole episode. Okay, Andy Hamilton Comedy is his IG and your
thank you.
Facebook and stuff, and I'll put it on here too. But I
Okay,
just had to tease you because I'm like Andy, no last name. Okay, but no, so that's how you can find him online. I'm gonna let him talk about his shows and everything. But seriously though, there's not a lot of people I get on the show that are their own brand. And it's a weird thing because coming back online as my own name, it was like I got in my head about it like too much probably. Like I had weird thoughts and I was like, Kristin, this is a business thing. Like you're promoting things from other business owners. Like these are people that are influencers and creators just like you are. Like you need to calm down. So I'm glad to hear that other people think that because if I share something, it's genuinely something I want to share. It's not just because I'm blindly sharing things. Like I wouldn't do that. And I do have a big mission, and it's, I'm not a stand-up comic, but I do, like, the thing that's on my heart is really sharing the gospel. And so, like, that's what I'm going to share the most of, but that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy other things too. So, anyway, that was a random question for you. So, I always
I
ask people
appreciate
a
it.
couple of things. Book recs, which I told you. And then I want you to promote your shows that are coming up and tell people how they can find you. So let's talk about books. You said you had
Okay.
a couple.
Yep, I'll give you three. So I got a book halfway through. It's called "Life Is Yours to Win."
Never heard of it.
It's by a baseball coach. His name's Augie Garrido. And so
Okay.
even if you're not a huge baseball fan,
Yeah.
you can read this and just there's lessons you can take from sports and really any sport that apply to your everyday life. And so
Okay.
it's been a good book so far. I've been reading it for a while. I don't have time to sit down and read all the time. So
Right.
that's number one. Life is Yours to Win by
Okay.
Augie Garrido, the winningest coach in NCAA baseball history.
Intriguing.
Second book is called. We talked about this earlier. It's called God is for You. It's
It's a
the
great book.
church. It's by Pastor David Blunt. He is a pastor of a church here in St. Peters, Missouri, which is kind of. I live in St. Charles, about the same town, but and so just a lot of less life lessons in there that he talks about, and just you know, yeah, just a lot of positive content and
Right.
following God. The third one I will recommend if you're trying to get into comedy or have any interest in doing open mics. It's called "Don't Wear Shorts on Stage." It's by my buddy Rob Durham. He's a comic here in St. Louis. He's also a
Cool.
teacher,
Oh, love it.
and so this is stand-up guide to comedy from your first open mic to your first paid gig and kind of everything in between. So there's three books. Two
Love
of
it.
them, the last two I've read completely. Like I said, the
Yeah.
first one I'm halfway through. So
Awesome. Well, I love that. And it's been fun to catch up. It turns out that I end up catching up with a lot of people on the internet because I'm like, why don't we just make this
how
a
about
show if we're
that?
going to do it? So, how about that? Okay, so tell people about your show in Columbia and what you've got going on upcoming.
So my next show is this Saturday night in Columbia, Missouri, at the Tokyo Club. If you haven't been to the Tokyo Club or heard of it, it's an arcade bar and also a
Yeah.
comedy venue. Um, this is going to be part of a festival called Cool Fest, COOL, which so I'll be at the Tokyo Club this Saturday, 7 o'clock. Be me and three other comics, more of a showcase style, but you can
Yeah.
come see my comedy. I will
Here
also
is the. Can
there
you
there's
see it?
yep, I can see the poster.
It's going to
And
be quite an eclectic mix.
yes, it will be.
I can't wait.
And I've never met any of these comedians, but which is fine. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to meeting them and their style, watching their style, I should say. But my
Yeah.
other than that, I'll be back here in St. Charles on May 22nd uh, at a place called it's called Barbecue. It's a place. I didn't make the name. It's just the venue. But I was trying to really pronounce that with effect, but
Barbecue. Got it.
barbecue. Anyways, that's Thursday, March 22nd here in St. Charles. And then I'll be at that same Saturday, the 24th, I'll be at a place in St. Louis called Neat Bar and Restaurant. Just doing a small spot on that one. So
Cool.
that's all I got really
You're
coming up.
busy. You're working.
I just worked this past weekend at the St. Charles Funny Bone, so
Yeah.
I'm just coming off a really busy weekend with 5 shows, and
Ooh.
I've had a busy year so far.
Wow.
Starting to line up stuff for June. So, but yeah, if you're in Columbia this Saturday, come by, check us out, and say hey.
All the cool kids are going to be there. That's what I heard.
Yeah, are you coming?
I'm coming. I'll be there.
Okay.
I'm cool. I'm going to slam an energy drink like I did last time, and I'll
There you
show
go.
up. I wake
And
up way too early to not do that. So maybe a nap.
there you go. Well, this show's at 7. The first one you came to was 8:30.
That's true. That will be nice.
So
That
we'll
will
be
be
done.
nice.
I mean, it's an hour and a half show for
Yeah.
those that want to come, and should be a good time.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And honestly, laughter is the best medicine. I'm not just saying that because you're a comic, but like we should all be outside and get sunlight and we should all laugh more. So go do something fun for yourself. I'm usually a stick in the mud and I don't. And so go see a show, even if you're not anywhere near us. Go look up a comedy club, go laugh, and have fun. All right, Andy. What can we send you off with? What wisdom can you impart on us? What goals do you have? What can we manifest for you?
Let's just say live life to the fullest, have fun, and be be positive every day.
Okay.
Pay your bills
Pay
and
your
just
bills. Okay. Got it.
eat right.
Drink your water. Oh my gosh, I think we just lost Andy. That's so hilarious. He was giving the wisdom and I think his phone died. How funny. Okay, well, that was the end anyway. So drink your water and eat your Wheaties are Andy's last words. Hopefully everybody will come out to the comedy club this weekend and have fun. If you're in the mid-Missouri area, I also have another event I want to promote really quickly. That is a 6K, the World Vision 6K for water, and it is, yep, Andy's gone. It is also this Saturday, but it's Saturday morning at 8:30. If you're in Jeff City, you can meet at Capital West Christian Church on Fairgrounds Road, and yeah, it's a blast. I've done it twice in the past, and good group of people. It's going to be a beautiful day, and you can sign up the day of if you're a late decider. You can sign up even the morning of, and it goes to benefit, obviously, a great cause with World Vision. So, thank you guys. This was a little longer episode, and I'm excited just to have different guests. So, I've got, I was talking about Andrea in this episode, my sister from another mister. I met her the last night at Tokyo Club, and it was just an instant bond. And I enjoy hanging out with comics. Great positive outlook on life, and they were always making you laugh. So thanks, Andy, for coming on. Sorry you're not here. But I'm excited to have Andrea, and just thank you all for the platform. I'm humble enough to know that not everybody has it, and I look at the reports like, this YouTube and Spotify. Those aren't the only places that things like this land, and I see the numbers, and I'm just really grateful that you guys are interested in listening to the content. So thank you. Please just go forward in love and light. If you see somebody that's not included this week, would you just try to maybe reach out and include them, text them, be a friend to them, show them that God loves them. All right. Kristin out. Have a great week.